as well.
Oh, I was trying to figure out how to get on Glimesh, but I couldn't figure it out.
There we
Can
go.
you do it on OBS?
I'll help you out later. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So you're
yeah, you
doing
can.
opiates?
All
OBS
right.
Streamlabs. I'm
Okay.
trying to use it, but I
So,
can't.
anyhow, hi. It's been a long time since we've did our last podcast.
Actually, this is the first time we did it on Glimesh, so it's kind of like a redo over, like it never happened, but we're here.
Yeah, exactly. Anyhow, so we got your two hosts here, Blue Spice and Biscuit.
Yeah.
Truman could not make it today, and we have our guest star, Mr. Zombie.
Hello.
Say hello.
Hello.
Is he really a guest star? I think he's gonna be like a permanent member, isn't he?
Probably.
Could be if you wanted to. Anyhow, so today we're going to be going over, I guess, certain topics, such as HR 127, which is a new gun bill that's being proposed. We're going over if video games cause violence, specifically in like kids and shit like that. Book banning, thoughts on the various streaming sites. If we're going back to the Middle East for like war and shit like that. Recent Antifa riot that went down like 2 days ago.
I didn't
As
even
well
know
as
about that. Is that a thing that happened?
yeah, it's happening pretty much daily. Thoughts on autonomous zones, which I think we may have gone over in the past, not too sure. And as well as social media sites run on kind of political bias. So if we're going to start off, let's go over HR 127. If nobody knows what that is, basically it's a heavy restriction on firearms, right? And it's much more than that because it does cause a lot of issues. There's a lot of issues with this bill. It's pretty much being created by people that have no idea what the hell guns are. One of their main issues is firearm registration, right? So now you are now legally obligated to, if this passes, to register every single firearm. Oh, Mac. So now you are legally forced to register every single firearm that you have in your possession. And if you don't, then you can be sent to prison for it and fined heavily. Now, the big issue with this is that everyone is going to know now where your guns are and who has the guns, right? So it's going to be a public registry. Everyone's going to know where it is.
Okay.
Right, so go ahead.
You think there should be like you know how in Britain they do referendums? Where they where everyone can't make their minds up until they just have like one big vote, where the whole thing everyone votes. You think people should do that here in the U.S.?
No.
No.
I was gonna say if they did, I don't think there would be any voting towards it at all because you'd have your 60 million gun owners vote no to that bill versus the 400 people in Senate and everything else. Yes. So there's no voting with that right there at all.
Exactly. And besides that, you'd also have the issue of people essentially voting twice or multiple times, where people are going to fudge the numbers. Right? That's why you have to have it pass through all these different representative, actual political leaders go through this.
You think there shouldn't be a referendum because of voter fraud?
Besides that, yes.
It's popular in the United States.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyhow.
I mean, you can't really have a democracy if you think it's going to be plagued by voter fraud.
Yeah. Besides that, they're going to mandate psychological evaluations. Now, that doesn't sound too terrible, but then they add to this where they contact family members, but not just family members, they contact your exes.
Yikes.
Now, last time I checked, nobody's ex really likes each other. So they're going to lie their ass off.
I am having a great time with my ex. I don't know about you.
That's very dangerous.
What do you mean? How is that dangerous?
You remember Truman's ex? The crazy one?
He had a bunch of exes, okay? And I think it's just... I've had a lovely relationship with all my exes.
That's
except
interesting.
For one. But
except the one that they'll contact.
It's like one of those things where you just don't mention it never happened.
Yeah.
Only a few people know about it.
Sure. Now, another thing that they're going to be forcing is actually insurance.
Oh, dude, that sucks.
Which is a way that they're going to be making quite a bit of money. Yes, that was on the bill.
They do that in California.
If you don't... Yeah, but if you don't have these gun insurance, you can also get heavily punished for that as well. Which is kind of fucked up. Now, another thing that they're doing is the magazine amount as well as the bullets that you can own, can't own. It's a lot of stupid shit. Now, if you read the bill, basically you can't have more than 3 bullets in your gun.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
You okay there, zombie?
No, I'm trying to keep myself composed because it's a fucking joke.
It is. It really
that
is.
bill is such a joke. You're
Yeah.
not going to have anybody abide by any of those laws. People have already privately sold their guns, as in myself. I've privately sold my guns, or 2 of my guns, to my brother, which I know he can pass a background check. I've lived with him for my first 23 years of my life, so I know he's never been to prison in kind of any trouble with the law, other than the one time we got in trouble with the law.
Yep.
And they came to our house. We were never arrested, never charged with nothing like that. So, I mean, if you're going to penalize somebody for that, that's honestly God pretty stupid, because you're going to have people that can't go back and find those people that they privately sold the guns to, because now those people privately sold them to somebody else, and then they privately sold them, and so on and so forth. You can't track down 40 different people that somebody's privately sold to. It's near impossible.
Exactly.
What is gun insurance? Does it like your gun breaks, you just get a new one from the insurance company?
I wish.
Probably not even that. I'd say the only thing that I can agree with in this bill is where you have to take mandatory classes in understanding the firearm and learning the firearm. Right? That's it. Because if you want people to be safe with the firearm, then I can totally see that. I can totally respect that. Exactly. Right? So that you understand if you are purchasing this, like, it's the idea of like having a driver's license, right? You need to know how to drive before you can just hop into a vehicle, right?
What if you're one of those sovereign citizens?
Those people are a little bit of kooks. A little too far there. Now, personally, they like to claim that, oh, it's for safety, it's for helping ensure that the criminals are punished. But that doesn't really happen. That doesn't work. Like, I came from Chicago, one of the most heavily restricted gun states and cities. Sorry, Illinois, most heavily gun restricted, and then Chicago, which is even worse. Right? Like, they have all these limitations, but it just makes crime way worse. Because it's not the average citizen, the law-abiding citizen, that is the problem, right? It's all the criminals, right? And you can't just be like, oh, well, guns are banned now. You can't have guns. You think a criminal's going to give up their gun? No. That's not how that works. And that's why crime in Chicago is so bad.
A big example of that is Mexico, because no one can own a gun, but all the criminals own guns, like, in abundance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And what's even weirder is that, okay, so you have to go through these background checks, right? They think, okay, well, we want to make sure everyone's safe. You have to go, in order to even purchase a firearm nowadays, right? And even back then, you go through a background check, right? And you go through all these other checks, right? So it's not like you just go into the store, buy a gun, and you're out, right? That doesn't happen. Generally, you're waiting 3 days to even a week, maybe even longer, depending on the firearm.
Wait, how long did you wait for your gun permit in Chicago?
To get my gun permit, I waited over 3 months to get my license.
And
over 3 months.
Even when they said you could have it, like, it took a long time for you to get it.
Yeah, exactly. And what's stupid about these licenses, right, is that it's no different than getting a background check, and they still do a background check. So it's just like an extra thing for it's stupid.
What they try to do is they try to trying to what's the word? They try to make people not want like a gun anymore because you have to wait for so long.
Exactly. It is ridiculous.
Yeah. Wait, what about book banning though? I think
we'll go over that soon.
Okay.
But is there anything you want to discuss around what we just discussed during the whole HR 127?
I didn't really read the bill. I kind of skimmed it a little because I got here a little late. So
okay.
Based on what you guys are saying, it sounds pretty ridiculous. Based on
so what they basically want you to do is they want the Attorney General to create a public database for all guns to be registered through. Now, everybody has access to that public database, and pretty sure as Blue already covered. But they want you to basically register it through your, I guess, local police department. As I believe my brother said, where the hell was it at? Massachusetts is like. But any military person can see it. Any government personnel can see it. The president of the United States can see it. Basically, if you are in the government of any kind of branch, you have access to that public database, and so you can see exactly what house or what that house number is where them guns are kept and how many guns are inside of that house.
Well, it actually wouldn't just be government officials. It would also be just public citizens.
Yeah.
Right, and that's where the major issue is that a common criminal could just look into that database. All right, if I want to raid this house or attack this house, rob this house, does this person own a firearm? Maybe if they do, I'll wait till they're gone, and then now I can go in there, steal their firearm. Right?
I really,
so
it also offers like a dystopian type of thing, like which citizens are probably going to be the most, hard to handle.
Could be that too.
Not only that though, but honest to God, if you try to take guns, sure, go ahead and take them. Like, some people are going to give you lead first. Some people are just going to peacefully hand over their guns. But if you think you're going to take all guns off the streets,
that's impossible.
Not only that, but it's no different than drugs. You can always get drugs legally or illegally, just like a firearm. You can always get a firearm legally or illegally. There's always a market for those two things. Better yet, for anything. There's a market for anything and everything you can imagine. So no matter who takes them or holds them back or does anything like that, you're still going to have access to a gun because somebody's going to know somebody that sells guns.
Exactly. Like there's like a big difference between just a regular safety net, like background checks, and then heavily restricting it to the point where criminals can easily get away with anything that they wanted to.
Okay.
So yeah.
You're making it easier for the criminal and harder for the citizen.
Exactly. Like that's basically what's been going on with Chicago for like decades. And it's getting worse and worse.
Did you hear that one guy who he wanted he said, how do you desensitize criminals? And like by giving them money. And I'm like, bruh.
No.
He wanted to give criminals money so they wouldn't do crime.
That's bad.
Just like the most ridiculous. I think that was in Chicago as well.
Most likely. Now moving on to that, we have another thing, which is, do video games cause violence? Absolutely. Now I'm bringing this up because recently Chicago also has been going through a lot of carjackings, and some politicians in there blame Grand Theft Auto, the game. Now, these people aren't probably the brightest peas in the pod, because carjacking was already pretty bad in Chicago. And trying to blame it on a video game, whereas you are basically screwing over your entire police department actively, no. Right? It has nothing to do with video games, in my opinion. Right? It is based on how somebody is raised, how somebody is taught. Right? Like, the vast majority of people that play video games, whether they're violent or peaceful, aren't going to be aggressive, evil people. Right? It's generally down to the parents and those around them to mold them into good people.
Yeah, man. You can't just, people are made good people. They aren't born good people.
Exactly.
Are you a good person, Zombie?
Absolutely. I was raised better than that to be a bad person. I was raised basically, you go to jail, and my mom told me, you better hope and pray I'm your last phone call, because the second I hear blah, 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 county jail, I'm clicking that big red button. And I was like, not even waiting for an answer. She's like, absolutely not. He's like, you can stay in jail if you go to jail. And I was like, yes, ma'am. So
actually, look, there's this weird story. So my brother moved to Texas, and he sold his car here in California before he moved. And then the person he sold the car to didn't register the car to her name. And now he's getting tickets for her, like, stuff that she's doing. And she doesn't, like, want to register it because she doesn't want to pay the tickets. I don't know where this comes up.
I feel like he should definitely sue her.
Yeah, probably. But he doesn't make a lot of money to sue people.
It doesn't matter if you make a lot of money or not. You can find a pro bono lawyer, or you can find a cheap lawyer.
Pro bono, yeah.
What is a pro bono?
Pro bono, free.
Go ahead, Blue.
right?
Yep.
So these are generally lawyers that are new and trying to get experience / reputation.
Okay.
Generally, these really big law firms, when they take on new lawyers, they'll have them do a couple pro bono cases or even follow along bigger cases and kind of like shadow bigger lawyers. So it's helped them get reputation as well as experience.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Like those cops that follow senior cops.
Exactly. Right. Exactly that.
Yeah, okay. I get it. Makes sense.
Yeah.
What's the other thing we were gonna say?
So we're going to talk about. Do you believe that video games cause violence? I guess.
Oh, not really. I mean, I guess there's some cases where like the kid does something and he's like, "Oh, watch no game, so I can do it." I've seen a case like that where this kid like stole a car, and then he cited Grand Theft Auto, but he was like
Sure.
9. But I think that's a very very rare case. And it doesn't usually happen. I think most people are smart enough to know that games are not
Yeah.
real.
I'd say that any parent that lets their kid play GTA when they're 9 is probably not a particularly good parent to begin with. You know.
A lot of kids nowadays are going to grow up with games like that because parents are becoming, gamers are
Very-
becoming older, and then they
Yeah.
are letting their kids play games like that. I mean,
Yeah, and
that's
they're
fine.
very soft.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to tell you to raise your child. You wanna
To an
raise him
extent.
playing.
Sure. You
I
know?
mean, yeah. I mean, if he wants to play video games and the parent lets him, who am I to say no?
Sure. What are your
I
thoughts
think-
on this, Zombie?
Honest to God, not like video games does not cause violence. Violence causes violence. I just want to know, like I told the guy I work with, whenever he told me this first, is where I first heard it at. And I told him in a prime ass example, I said, okay, I want you to pull up GTA for me and show me where they show an inside view of somebody ripping out underneath the steering wheel and tapping 2 wires together to start the car, taking a screwdriver and slamming it in the ignition and turning it. You do not see that in video games, period. I have personally never seen that in video games, and I've been
Actually-
playing since the Nintendo 64.
Remember that one? What's it called? GTA Chinatown for the Nintendo. Like, and then you'd have when you'd break into a car, and then you get the little mouse put on the bottom, and it shows the cables, and you gotta put them all together, and you gotta unscrew and stuff.
You know, the vast majority of cars that were built during the 90s and above, actually, you can't hotwire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because cars are not all built the same, and games fail to represent that.
Well, no. It's that in the 90s they started making cars have these like safety nets, so that if somebody did try hotwiring your car, it wouldn't work.
I know some cars have like a little chip in the key as well,
Mm-hmm.
so you can't just insert the key; it has to have the chip inside.
Exactly.
Cars have gone a long way. What can I say?
Definitely.
Actually, Tesla cars, those are nice.
Definitely. Anyhow, moving on. Let's talk about book banning.
You know what? Yeah,
Yeah?
sure, why not? Yeah, you know what? I'd like
Yeah.
to ban one book. The Dr. Seuss books. Those are super racist.
So,
Yeah.
I can't even.
I'm just curious on how Dr. Seuss is racist or whatever they said about Dr. Seuss, and if they actually ban his book. Because I about bought 15 different Dr. Seuss books today whenever I went
Okay.
to Walmart.
So basically, what was happening was several online sites, such as Amazon, were banning specific Dr. Seuss books, very specific Dr. Seuss books, as well as other books. Now, a lot of and starters, Dr. Seuss is not racist. He's like a lefty liberal, like
Yeah.
very lefty liberal.
He just made pictures, like he drew things that people didn't like.
Exactly.
That's what made him racist.
Yeah. Now, a lot of lefties and liberals are saying, oh, well, they're not book banning. They're just removing it from their store. No.
But that's the same thing.
Exactly, it is. It really is. Right? Like in fucking Germany, back in World War II and other countries that were very much like it, right? They would stop allowing you to have these books. Right? Because at first they're going to be like, all right, you can't buy them anymore. And at some point, they're going to be like, all right, now you can't own them anymore. And they're going to try to take it away. And a book that represents this is actually, I don't know if you ever read this, but it's I think it's Fahrenheit 451 or something like that, where they live in like a future society where books are basically banned and it's punishable by like death to have.
Yikes.
Yeah, it was a very, very odd book, but it always starts somewhere, right? It starts with a little thing, right? You take away one little thing and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Right, so
They
this
booked the bear,
this
right? That's the comic.
exactly this idea that, right, well, you're just not allowing people to buy certain books. Now it's going to get so much worse.
I think you said this a long time ago. You give them an inch, you give them a mile.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a common saying.
Yeah, I agree to it with like some extent. Like yeah, there like you can stop. There's things. What's the thing? Let's see. I don't really agree with that saying because I agree with like most of things that have that saying, but there's certain things that you know that you have to stop.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Like
Right,
okay, go on.
it's very like unconstitutional because like that's basically removing free speech as well,
Yeah.
right? It's very
Well, I
fucked
mean,
up.
a store can remove a book, but the government can't remove books because that would be unconstitutional.
I mean,
Yes, but
the government
it's
has done a lot of non-constitutional things.
yes, but moving on, like to add to that, like when you have a chain that is so large and massive that everyone knows it and everyone uses it, and you remove that, you are basically banning it.
I mean, yeah, but that's why we gotta have those. We gotta have a president back that like he breaks monopoly. Like Amazon's basically a monopoly now, right? Like
Basically,
it doesn't own an entire industry, but it has its little
Its own
like
yeah,
industry.
it has its
yeah,
own like its grubby hands in every little industry, like even a little
exactly.
bit.
Like you have so much control that no one can really fight you.
Yeah, I mean it's
Right.
like they have a monopoly, but it's weird. They have their hands on everything, but not of everything.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I think they should be disbanded. Honestly, not like Amazon should be its own thing, and then they should have a separate company, which is also I guess called Amazon, but not led by the same
Hmm.
CEO. Because Jeff
So,
Bezos leads Amazon Fresh, Amazon Delivery, Amazon other stuff.
Well,
It's
Jeff Bezos just stepped down as the
he hasn't
CEO.
stepped down yet, but he's gonna
No,
step down.
he's stepping down soon as the CEO and becoming
Yeah.
like the CFO or some stupid thing,
Yeah.
like the president or some shit. Like it's
Is that a bigger role? Is the CFO bigger than the CEO?
no,
Okay.
the
So
CEO is basically top dog.
yeah.
what's the CFO?
Probably like second top dog or some shit. Who knows?
It's
Is that like when Putin he's president, but then he made the prime minister more powerful than the president, and he just became prime minister type of thing?
Probably.
sure. Let's go with it biscuit. Like
That could be it. That could be it.
'Cause that actually did happen. Like Putin was like, I don't want to be president anymore, and then he gives all his power to the prime minister. He's like, I want to be prime minister now. And I think, but he's okay. He's technically still the most powerful man in Russia.
Could be. Could be. What are your thoughts on book banning, guys?
I
How do you
think
feel?
there should be some books that ban like how to make an explosive. But if you want to like ban a book that just says Dr. Seuss type of things or anything like that, or just a man expressing his opinion, that shouldn't be banned. If you're
I can agree with that.
explicitly like telling people how to build a bomb or like a gun or anything like that, maybe that should be banned. But opinions and just free speech in general shouldn't be banned.
I mean, banning a book on making bombs, absolutely. Like that's terrorism at its finest. If you are teaching other individuals how to make a bomb, you're now a domestic terrorist.
Actually, believe it or not, there's some books out there that teach you how to make a bomb.
I know.
Yeah.
I believe it's called the Anarchist Cookbook.
Really? Yeah.
Yes.
I have another book that
Yes.
was made by like a 1980s activist, and then it just tells you how to like, screw over cops and how to poison them and how to make a little pipe bomb and stuff. I don't have it personally. Just I don't own any of this. Okay,
I sure hope you don't.
I don't any of this is not mine. I'm speaking for someone else here. If you're listening, anyone there? No, I don't own any of this. Not mine.
You're gonna hear a come from Biscuit's mic in a second here.
You're gonna hear it open up in the background.
No. Yeah. All right, Zombie. What are your views on book banning?
I find it stupid. Like, honest to God, I find it stupid. You shouldn't be banning books. Books are a way of learning knowledge. Obviously, like I said, making bombs, not building rifles. Rifles are essential to life. Rifles can be used for multi-purpose things. An example, they're used for a lot of killings and everything like that, from what people see them as. Rifles are used for protection. They're used for hunting. There are many useful things to read how to build a rifle and how to use a rifle properly for good reason.
Yes.
I think if a book wants to teach you how to make a rifle, that's not harmful to humans, but like just to protect yourself, that's fine with me. But if you're building like a submachine gun like they did in World War II that were so easy to make, then we probably shouldn't have access to building a submachine gun.
Okay. Interesting.
What do you think, Blue? We haven't asked you. What do you think?
I think that if you start banning books, it's basically the equivalent of destroying history. Right, because no matter how no matter how terrible something is, right, you can still I've read a lot of bad, quote unquote, bad books. Right now I'm still reading the Unabomber's Manifesto. Right,
is that a bad book? Does it have errors and stuff?
Yes and no. It explains his views. It explains why he did what he did, and it explains what's going on with the world and how it's turning.
Or how he views the world. What
Yes.
it's becoming, he thinks.
Yes.
It's a very subjective book, right?
Yes and no. There's actually, it's because the man, besides the fact that he was, yes, a domestic terrorist, he was actually a professor. He was an actual genius. And when I'm reading this book, I can understand a lot of where he's coming from, especially nowadays. And although I don't agree with his actions, you can't deny that what he says is accurate.
I feel like it's gonna be another man like that. I hear so many professors who are very anti-fascist friendly. Or I'm personally anti-fascist, but I'm not Antifa, So these people, there was this guy, a student, who he got a bike lock and he started hitting people.
I think you're thinking of the college professor, actually, right?
Yeah,
During
he
Berkeley.
was a professor, right?
Yep, at Berkeley.
Yeah. He got a bike lock and started hitting people, and he really messed up some people up.
Yeah.
I feel like there's gonna be more people like that.
I was gonna say, where do you think the quote soap socking came from?
Oh, really? Is that what it came from?
No, I'm just saying, soap socking's used in the military, and Truman's gonna find out about that.
Truman's gone though. Truman's he's in the military base right now, isn't he, or something? He's in a hotel. Maybe
He's isn't he leaving in April? Can't remember. I'll have to look again, but it's gonna be soon.
Next time we see Truman, he's gonna be a World War III vet. Nice. Okay. Now you're gonna tell him, aren't you, that I said that?
Yes.
Okay.
He's. Anyhow, though, as I was saying, no matter how bad a book is, you shouldn't ban it. They still have Mein Kampf available to buy.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I think it's important to understand someone's views, right? No matter how fucked up it is.
Yeah.
You should be able to have the ability to read it, understand it, and come to your own conclusion. Obviously, he's a bad fucking person.
I found out I was
a terrible
playing,
human being.
Yeah, but I was playing on this Minecraft server, and then I found a book, and it's Mein Kampf. The book is the entire biography of Hitler, which is nice. I read it a little bit. It was a good book. It was translated. Very nice.
Interesting.
You guys should read it if you want to. It's a good book.
I actually do. I intend on actually reading that as well as the Communist Manifesto.
Yeah, dude, you should read the Communist Manifesto, man. It's very short, so
I'm gonna read both.
It's like a weekend read. maybe less.
Yeah.
You want to read the Communist Manifesto with us, Zombie? Interested?
I don't read, so
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you haven't picked up reading yet? Do you
no,
know how to read?
I'm just too stupid to read. Yeah,
Mm.
I'm like Mayweather. I can't read a full sentence.
You got
You could offer me $500,000, and I guarantee you I can find a way to fuck up a 3-letter sentence.
Are you oh dude, are you dyslexic?
Yeah, I'm dyslexic, ADHD,
Mm.
probably PTSD, bipolar. God knows what I am right now, dude. I haven't got mentally checked out yet, so.
I have ADHD. So like what are we talking about? I'm actually playing Minecraft.
I believe it because I can hear it in the background.
Yeah.
Because not only are you late to this podcast, but you're not even giving it your full.
I am giving it my full attention. What do you mean?
Bullshit!
I am on top of what's happening. Everything.
You've been going off topic this entire fucking podcast. What are you talking about?
I have been
Somebody had to say
completely
it, damn
in the
it.
know. You know what? It's ADHD, guys. Don't worry about it. That's my excuse. That's it.
Interesting. So you're using it as a crutch.
It is my crutch, and it is my savior for many things that I happen to do.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyhow, moving on. Let's talk about all these various streaming sites.
Oh, dude.
So obviously,
the site anyone can
so-
join, and it's free to use.
This guy, swear to fucking God. So, all three of us were in the beginning stages of Prime. Let's discuss this a little bit. How do you both feel about Prime?
Actually, Brime has. I think they just launched a website, and you can stream on it. Maybe.
No.
Not sure. You can't stream yet.
No.
What can you do in that site?
Recently, they showed that you can start clipping, as well as they are allowing alpha registration at the moment.
Oh.
Or they'll
I'm
start doing that
completely
soon.
wrong.
Now, Brime was such a fucking clusterfuck. Like, an absolute clusterfuck. Now, I don't know what happened on the whole legal side of it because I didn't give that much of a shit to learn that much about Brime. But just
Certainly.
everything I heard about it was a literal clusterfuck, like I said.
It definitely was a giant
enjoyed
dumpster
it.
fire.
It's like a roller coaster ride, but it's like
No.
it's like malfunctioning, so it's more exciting.
I'd say the only thing malfunctioning roller coaster.
Yeah,
Isn't that
that's like the ultimate.
supposed to
though.
be scary as shit? If you're on a roller coaster and it
You're just-
malfunctions?
You're just upside down, and then the release locks just give out.
But at the end of the day, you get like a free shirt. You ever been on one of those malfunctioning roller coasters? You get like a free shirt, dude, and it's awesome.
Where's my free shirt, man? Where's my free shirt?
Where's my life at? You know, my life don't matter, but hey, here's a $20 t-shirt.
You go to the gift shop and like point at anything under $20 and it's yours. Don't sue us.
I believe
Point to a
that.
$20 lawyer.
Well, as for me, I spent a very long, like in the very beginning, I was there, and I would like kind of try to help TJ, aka Prime, fix his mistakes. And over time, it got worse and worse. Now, gosh, I've made what 2 whole documentaries, whatever, on this. It was fucked up. It was fucked up. There was a lot of lies. There was a lot of bullshit. The guy is most definitely mentally ill and very fucking insane.
Look, man, I hope
Now-
one day we can bring him in the podcast.
No, never. I would never actually do that. Like, he's actually batshit crazy. It's not even funny. Like, I still look at his Twitter every now and then, and the shit he posts.
Are you still banned?
No, because obviously it's under new leadership,
Oh,
and they're trying their best to fix his mistakes, but it's no.
he sold Brian for a good profit, dude.
No.
$500? Isn't that what he sold it for?
Nope.
Was it more?
I know the price. I'm not allowed to discuss it
Oh,
because
okay.
they weren't allowed to tell me how much they paid for it, but they told me anyway.
Okay.
Um,
NDA.
So, I was just about to
Kind
say,
of.
did you sign an NDA? Because if you didn't sign an NDA, there's no agreement other than verbal or
There is.
written.
I mean,
Out
do
of
you have
okay, so
honor or
basically
code?
what I did was I unlisted everything I posted on Brian. Right, the old shit. And I basically said, if you fuck up, like to the extent of what TJ was doing, I'm going to repost, like I'm going to unlist all of that, or relist all of that, and continue what I was doing. And I still have probably over 20 hours of footage that I could still add on to. And it's worse than what I showed. Like a million times worse.
I was gonna say, if you want to send me that 20 hours of clip, I'll revoice it and make my own little documentary out of it. And yeah,
you want us to re-upload it on the site?
I will happily
You know what?
upload it because I wish someone would send a lawyer or anything after me. You're not gonna get anything, buddy. I am poor.
Let's talk about this later, but all right, the re-upload stuff. Yeah.
Now, I'd say one of the worst things. Okay, I'll give some highlights of some of the stupid bullshit that he was doing. Okay, first of all, he pretended to have the old staff team leave, but then they were really still there. And I knew all along, and me and Meow Mew know all along, like we fucking meme on those guys. And then, yeah, they knew all along that I knew all along, right? And eventually they cracked, and then they leaked a lot of shit to me. Like, a lot of shit. It was fucked up what was going on, right? TJ was actively doxing people. Those 2 staff members that had to leave because they got doxed and their kids got doxed, he was the one who was doxing them.
Oh, dude, that was super sad, though. That made me really sad, actually.
Right, so he doxed a bunch of people publicly. He doxed some guy that lived in fucking Germany as well, some random guy. He pretended to have lawyers. He told a couple people, a lot of people actually, that he had a team of 10 lawyers that he was donated. People donated 10 lawyers to him for the legal battle that he was having against what's his fucking face?
Is that one guy who had a
Mapadel.
foundation? What's the foundation guy?
Yes, Mapadel. That guy.
Okay.
He was basically claiming that Brime stole his like ideas. I think it was bullshit. I don't really agree with that. I think it was kind of stupid. He threatened a lot of people. And in the beginning, I was kind of with him a little bit because there was points he was making that was accurate, but then he took it a step too far, and he almost doxed somebody. And I publicly said, all right, I'm cutting ties with you, I'm done. And then he tried going after me, and I fucking laughed at him.
He tried to dox you?
No, he tried to he basically said, all right, I'm going to sue you, I'm going to attack you, shit like that. And he tried his best. I ended up striking down his channel because he had some of my content on there. So that was pretty funny.
Very epic.
Yeah. Yeah, for a guy that's all about copyright, he doesn't seem to understand it at all.
Yeah.
Let's see, another thing.
How do you figure out what's true and what's not?
Me?
Yeah, how did you figure that out?
So I would spend a lengthy period. Okay, so I had a lengthy period of recordings myself from VCs, as well as I would actively take screenshots of the chats. Besides that, I was actively given other information from other people, such as screenshots and recordings. One other individual named Meow, he gave me probably over 100 hours of recordings and hundreds of screenshots. And during this, he showed me a lot. So you know the management company that represents Keemstar?
Yeah.
TJ was stating that they represented him. I think it was LFM Management. Right? He actively said, hey, they represent me. So what did I do? I contacted LFM. And they said, no. We don't represent this person. We don't know who the fuck they are. So he was lying about that. He was saying that actively he said that he was leaving Brime and that he was under NDA and all these different people bought it. He did this 3 separate times. All of them were a lie, except for this final time. That's why I didn't believe it for a month when he said, all right, it's finally gone. He's basically very manipulative. Right? He likes lying. I don't think he can control himself.
You think he's a pathological launcher?
Liar, yes. Pathological liar, yes. I do. I firmly believe that. I'm trying to think of what else he did. There was so much fucking shit. Probably hands down the worst thing that he still actively does.
Oh,
And I'm not going to. I don't
Let's
think
see.
I'm going to release this on YouTube or anything like that. I can't because I still have a couple hours of that footage. He basically actively, throughout several years, claimed that he had cancer and he was dying. Recently, right before I aired my first documentary on him, he told me out that he would be dead within a few days. And that
What?
everyone's going to get a bunch of letters, and everyone's going to get a bunch of recordings and all this. It never happened, of course. He never, he's not sick at all. And still to this day, he's actively going, oh, guys, I'm super sick. I'm going to die in a couple days.
Before I die, I want.
And then a few days later, he comes back and he's like completely fine. Everything. Right? So he's been doing this for years. Pretending to have cancer, dying.
What a guy that TJ, huh? What a guy.
Yes. And if you go on his Twitter, you can still see it. You can literally scroll through his things. Every couple weeks. Oh, guys. Oh, I'm dying. I might not be here soon.
Oh, okay.
Well, he'll do that.
Yeah.
He'll do that.
So, what was that one Twitch girl's name?
Oh, Jasmine?
No, Emily. Emily something. She faked like she had cancer for years, and her mom freaking posted public documents saying that she didn't have cancer at all. She's fucking bullshitting. And then she winded up losing like half of her viewer base and subs
Yikes.
from of it.
It's like that one time where that guy who couldn't walk started walking in midstream.
Bluish. Yeah.
Yeah, Bluish.
Apparently, yeah, we did. We did. Did you ever meet him, Zombie? I think you did.
Bluish?
Bluish.
I believe I met him once.
Yeah, now what he claimed was that he was going through a bunch of therapy and that he could walk for certain distances. I don't particularly know if that's the truth or not, but you'd think that he'd be more public about it when it was happening.
True. I didn't think about that. I'm like, was he telling the truth? I don't know. I'm not gonna say.
Yeah.
But that's a good point, though.
So yeah. Anyone have any good rhyme stories?
Curious as hell to what Jasmine did to get so high up and so close to TJ like she was.
Oh, there was some conspiracy theories, dude.
Her and Joel.
I don't even want to say them because I still talk to Jasmine every once in a while.
Joel's
I don't
pretty
talk
chill.
to Jasmine at all.
Joel's pretty chill. I still talk to him
We
every now and
invited
then.
him to the podcast one time. It was pretty cool.
We did, yeah. We definitely did.
I
Definitely
do
did.
know. I don't know if I should say. I mean, it's not bad, but I know the first. It was like TJ, Jasmine, me, some of the mods from Brime, and somebody else. Jasmine had her camera on. I had my camera on. Everyone's talking. She wound up leaning over and about came this close to fucking nip slipping. And I was sitting there and I was just like,
It's a yikes moment.
just DM her real quick.
Yikes.
Like, hey? It's like, hey, don't lean over again. She's like, why? I'm like, don't lean over again.
Yeah. She's... I actually...
She said
since she was very close to TJ, as well as with a few other people, I talked to them about the cancer thing to kind of get this confirmed. And he actively talked to her about it. And I confronted her and showed her all the evidence that he was bullshitting and lying. And she was like, no, I don't believe it. Like, imagine, like, showing someone fingerprints on a gun that was just fired into somebody's face.
Yeah.
Or, even worse than that, video evidence
You catch it in
of
4K.
it happening. Exactly.
Like, no, that never happened. Gotta show better proof.
That could be easily edited. Easily.
Exactly. It was ridiculous. She's a ridiculous individual.
She was very loyal.
There was a lot of people there that were very much Brime thoughts. Like this guy Mixed Tycrete. I think he's still a mod over there. He was fucking ridiculous. He was attacking me in DMs and on Twitter and on the YouTube channel when I was posting about this shit. He was like actively attacking me. He's like, "Oh, you're just a Brime hater." Like, motherfucker, I've been here since the beginning. Like, I really badly wanted it to come true. But the way TJ was handling it, he's fucking insane. He's fucking insane.
I figured he's a little cahoots or something along the lines because that kid didn't seem too right in the damn head. The first couple of times he was talking, he's just like, "Yeah, I'm going through a legal battle right now." It's like, "Are you?"
Yeah.
And he'd come back the next day and he'd be like, "Oh, yep, nothing's going on. Yep, nothing at all." Comes back the third day, just like, "Man, this fucking legal battle's killing me." It's like,
yeah,
you just said yesterday nothing happened. Like,
in terms of the whole legal battle things, in the very beginning, Epos Vox posted on it, and then he said, "All right, I'm going to sue him." And he walked to the courthouse, and like everyone could hear that he was in the courthouse, and then nothing happened. Right, so he basically just sat in a public space for maybe like 30 minutes, and nothing happened. That's it. Didn't actually sue him. And then
sued people.
Yes, and then Mapadel actually sent him a cease and desist letter, right? And he leaked it, which is against the law, right? And that's why he got in so much big trouble with Mapadel, right? And then what's worse off from that, he started to threaten to sue me and other people. He actively said that. He said, "I'm going to sue Blue." I fucking laughed at that. Right? And he's like actively like, "Oh, you can't report me without my permission." First and foremost, yes, I can. If I'm in a public place, I can do that. On Discord, yes. And in real life, depending on the state, I can't do it. But this is fucking the internet, right? There's nothing you can do against me at all. Right? And he's like, "Oh, well, that's doxing." No, it's not. Right? I can say your name because you've actively said it on his videos where he does like Q&As.
Do you guys think someone's name should be personal information?
Yes and no. If the person on the internet does not disclose their name, then that is personal information. If they, however, disclose it, say, "Hey, my name is Jared Blank," then that is now free gains.
Okay.
Right? Anyone else can say it.
That makes sense.
Yes.
If someone says
pretty
it.
messed up.
Yes.
I do hope one day we can have TJ on. That'd be nice.
I would legitimately never allow that. No.
You wouldn't show up?
No, I would actually
you wouldn't even
stop the account. No, I would stop the podcast. Yes, I would. Like he's legitimately unhinged.
Yeah, because you really don't like him, huh?
I do not. He's a terrible person. He's unhinged. He most definitely he fucking.
Damn.
You know, we contacted the police for a wellness check because he pretended to kill himself.
Is he,
do you know that?
Where he says I was murdered, but he's still alive.
Basically.
Jesus.
Like we called the cops to do a wellness check on him, and I confirmed that other people did it because the police department was like, "Yeah, we have other people contacting us over this as well." Like, he's legitimately unhinged. He needs to be in a fucking psychiatric ward on meds. And if he isn't already on meds, he needs to be on meds.
I don't want to say this, but I always thought he was a little bipolar.
He probably is.
Yeah, like visions of grandiose and stuff type of thing.
He's probably going through active manic episodes.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that he's not. Moving on.
All right.
Let's talk a bit about Lunar. Do either of you know much about Lunar?
I know all about Lunar.
I believe I've heard about Lunar and been to the site one time, but besides that, nothing.
Yeah, I know about Lunar.
Basically, it's the slightly tamer version of Brime when TJ was leading it. Just imagine less. He tried claiming that they were like a fake fucking site or some shit. Trying to scam you for these claiming that they were a pyramid scheme or some shit. It was weird. But to an extent, they are very much like Brime and how they handled shit. And I'm probably very soon going to be coming out with a documentary about them. Very much exposing them for a lot of fucked up shit they've been doing. And it's even worse than TJ's, in my opinion, because this actually involves money. Actual people's money.
So it is a pyramid scheme. Just that
No.
TJ got paid. He was.
It's
part
not.
Of the,
It's not a pyramid scheme. It
he wasn't
is.
part of the pyramid,
I very much think they are
but it is a scheme.
luring people along
It is a
because
scheme, right?
they
Wait,
probably
didn't I see-
have thousands upon thousands of dollars.
Didn't I see like a picture they posted, or they're supposedly using like a little thing they made for Lunar? I think I did. They
Huh?
posted a picture of someone streaming on the site that they supposedly made.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I personally,
Is that
I
not
don't.
true?
I think they did post that. That was like in the early days.
Huh.
But yeah, I can't really discuss too much about it now. But
You can't give us a teaser.
Say a T-shirt.
all
T-shirt.
that I could say is that they've gained quite a lot of money, and I strongly believe they've been stringing people along.
Is it illegal
Heavily.
though?
Yes and no. Yes and no.
Huh.
Because okay, so you know how they were doing charity streams, right? Or not charity streams. They were selling charity merch for cancer, breast cancer
Yeah.
awareness.
Oh, I think you told me.
They yes, they've collected plenty of money from that. Right? I've actually calculated the costs based on what they told me. And what they ended up doing was for many months they never donated that money to said charity. I actively asked them, what charity are you donating to and what are you partnered with? They, to the leader or one of the owners, gave me one name. And I contacted some of their staff, and their staff gave me a totally different name. I contacted both, and both of those companies said, we have no fucking idea who these people are. They've never contacted us. We're not partnered with them. Now, further along the lines there, I started actively, me and one other individual started actively talking to the owners of the site now about, hey, when are you going to donate that? Did you already donate it? Because now it's been several months since they've collected this money. And finally, they were like, okay, here's the receipt. We finally did it today. Sorry, we were busy.
That seems like something that would be much easier to do.
It is. It is. I think my personal opinion is that they only did it because they got caught in their lie.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of screwed. It's fake charity stream.
And they're kind of doing the same thing with their Patreons as well. And all the people that are actively donating.
Patreon?
Yes.
Damn, dude.
Okay, so basically they said, all right, if we hit this certain goal, we're going to do active like updates, we're going to tell you what's going on, we're going to do our podcast, right? They only did like 3 podcasts, and they've gained like thousands of dollars to this date, and they've only done 3, and that they haven't done it in probably over a year.
Damn.
And they're still collecting money.
For the podcast?
Exactly. So I very much don't trust Lunar whatsoever. Personally, I'm pretty sure it's almost already been confirmed that they're going to be using what Glimesh is using. I'm not exactly 100% on that. Some of their staff kind of told us some stuff. Obviously, I can't confirm or deny that, really.
Are they gonna
Until
copy the
we...
code?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's free to use because Glimesh is, I guess, was open source. But in either way, we'll find out when they release their alpha. If they ever do, that is. I highly doubt it. So moving on from Lunar.
So much streaming drama. Why? Who knew
There
that
is.
building a streaming company was so dramatic? Jeez.
Exactly.
It's like a bunch of theater kids all wanted to make a streaming company.
It really is. Like, I've been literally watching all these. The only one that was actually even fucking somewhat, that was actually legitimately honest. Like, all 3 of these sites were like, oh yeah, we're totally honest, we're totally transparent. The only one that's actually transparent, fucking Glimesh.
Yeah,
Right?
they actually made something in less time.
Exactly. And what's even fucking funnier, right? So during when they first launched Alpha, right? They were showing off the streamers that were going to come to them, right? Glimesh. And one of these streamers they showed off was proudly showing off like a cab and other shit,
Oh, okay.
like kill cops. on their fucking stream, right? And they showed a clip of that. And I fucking instantly fucking messaged their support team about it. And within a few hours, they're like, "Oh shit, we didn't fucking realize we didn't vet the clip before looking at it."
I mean, that's a mistake that can make anyone. Really.
Exactly. Like I'm very happy that was a mistake, and I hope that never happens again, because that's like shit that Twitch literally was allowing, that is still allowing.
I mean, personally, I think if someone wants to have like a cap on the stream or something, I mean, I don't mind. I'm not gonna watch this stream.
No, because that's basically actively calling for violence right there.
Well, a cap means all cops are bastards, right?
Yes, but the movement itself is a violent movement. They're not sitting there peacefully. Like, they're actively going out there harming police. Right? That's the shit that Antifa preaches.
I guess. I mean, if I were to, I wouldn't have a problem with it, honestly. I mean, freedom of speech, I guess. Even in a company.
No, that is not freedom of speech. Right? Freedom of speech does not protect violence, calls to violence. That's the one thing it does not protect.
I mean, you could argue that ACAB isn't just saying go over there and kill people. I guess you could argue that as well, but it's a slippery slope, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can meet people who say they're an ACAB or they support it and say they don't want any violence.
I honestly don't believe that you'll meet anyone that says that. What are your thoughts
in California. I've met plenty of people who support ACAB or whatever.
Interesting.
I'm just.
What are your thoughts on this, Zombie? What are your thoughts on this?
I have nothing good to fucking say. Like, literally nothing good to say. I'm not gonna take chances of getting this podcast twisted very sideways.
What do you mean?
Like, I have nothing good to say about like people in that kind of way, nor Antifa or anything like that. Like, zero good things will come out of my mouth whenever it has something to add on to this subject we're on right now.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
I also think that if you don't allow speech like that or that type of thing in things like this, because like Antifa, it's a thing. They're gonna gather somewhere else if they're not gathering on the mainstream, thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah. Okay. So I guess moving on from all this streaming site shit, do you think we're gonna go back to the Middle East? Go to war with the Middle East?
Honestly, I'm not sure.
Not sure.
Because there's no reason to, I guess. They haven't made up one. Or so it seems. Usually they make up a reason like oil, right? But I'm not hearing any reasons to go right now.
I mean, on the point of Joe Biden just took away 100,000 jobs from the Alaskan pipeline or something like that he just put an end to. So yeah. Besides that, and gas prices going up to $3 a gallon.
He also, what was it? Not New Orleans. What? He canceled the oil lines as well in the oil rigs or whatever. Where was that? What state was that? He also ended that, right? And then he instantly made a new deal with Saudi Arabia. So yeah, I think we're definitely going to the Middle East.
Now, I can tell you that I do definitely think that we are going back, that we're going to Saudi Arabia, as in the Middle East, but Iraq, Afghanistan, that war has been going on for years. As the guy I work with said that was involved in that war.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia is a lovely place.
I'm more speaking on Iran, I should say.
Iran, possibly, if they.
I mean, we basically already just bombed them, so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think we should go. There's too many things going on. We're bombing too many people at this point.
No, it's not even that. It's literally just. I don't know how to word again. I don't know how to word it. So
have you seen that meme where like it's the Joe Biden administration, so all the bombs are like colored with the pride flag and stuff, BLM. So it's all progressive.
It's interesting. The last few things you see. That's interesting.
That's how you get support in the Middle East when you paint your
Yeah.
bombs in pride flag colors. I think it'll work. Next
So-
time.
Yeah.
Kansas next topic.
So, we all know what happened on like March 12th, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But could you explain it so our viewers know?
So, back in Portland, the Antifa basically set up one of the government buildings on fire, or tried to.
Ooh, first
And
time?
people-
I don't think so.
Definitely not the first time, but
I've heard. I think it just happened like yesterday as well.
it was 2 days ago. I imagine it happened yesterday as well.
It happens.
But
every day,
there was still people inside.
though. Oh, that's right, dude. Oh man,
That's fucked.
I saw the video. It wasn't on fire, but they were trying to make it on fire.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
They put
Good thing
they
that-
put a little fireplace outside.
Yeah,
Make
it's a good thing that the only time they ever use Molotovs, they managed to throw it at themselves.
Yeah, luckily they have horrible aim.
Exactly. Like, have you seen that video? They literally
Which-
throw the
oh, yeah.
Molotov and they manage to light themselves on fire.
Dude, like he's throwing it from like inside a mob as well. So like he throws it and he catches himself on fire. It's a good video to watch, but it's
Jesus.
Yeah,
yeah.
I
What?
it's probably gonna be years before they actually, like, the government actually does anything about this, because they just keep letting them go.
Like people should just make like a Molotov how-to tutorial at this point because they just keep messing it up. It's embarrassing.
They just don't have any upper body strength, man. They can't throw it.
They don't have lessons.
Exactly.
All these people should take baseball before they take Molotov throwing lessons.
Certainly. Mandatory classes.
Yeah, man. You think people should be allowed to own Molotovs?
Pretty sure that's actually illegal to make those.
Really?
Yes.
Molotovs? Yeah.
I didn't know that. I
Yep.
mean, they're so easy to make. That,
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't think they'd be illegal to make.
It's because they're only used in like one thing. Trying to light something on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
So I am moving on or kind of connected to this. What do you guys think about autonomous zones? Especially since these things keep popping up.
About what?
Autonomous
Atomic bomb.
zones.
Oh,
Autonomous zone.
I would
Yeah,
love to go to one, dude. I keep telling you, I would love to go to one.
I don't know.
I
don't
want to go
know.
in there and just report, like, just see what's
It's
popping.
well, no, they'd attack you if you tried doing that.
I got those secret spy cameras.
What? It's kind of ridiculous how they act too, because they're like, all right, we're gonna abolish the police in this zone,
Man, if
but
they
at the
try to
same
attack-
time, we're gonna make a new police department and
Yeah.
also call the cops when something bad happens, like
if
the
they try
actual
to attack
cops.
me, I just say they're racist.
Yeah, like their police, their quote unquote police in there acts more like the Gestapo.
Yeah.
It's actually ridiculous.
Dude, did you see that thing where like, they made like an immigration policy? It's so dumb.
I have not. Please explain this.
They organized a bunch of people to guard the border and not let anyone in.
They built a wall,
They built a wall and then they got guards to stop people from.
and they only
Crossing
wanted
the
people that
wall.
were legally allowed to enter.
Yeah, they only wanted people that
Proper
had good
documentation.
ideas. Yeah. Where is your Antifa, pin? Or else you can't enter. That's basically like your passport at that point. Your Antifa pin.
That's actually hilarious. That is the saddest thing I've ever heard.
Bruh.
Oh my goodness. How do you feel about these things, Zombie?
Is there a new autonomous zone though?
I find them absolutely stupid. Like, basically, find them pretty stupid. Like, when they get injured, they want to call the cops in and be like, come help us. And the cops are like, mm-mm.
The cops
They're
can't
like,
enter.
we
'cause
need
everyone's
help.
armed. The cops
Yeah.
can't enter because everyone's armed.
Well, besides that, what ended up happening is like a couple people got murdered, and then
Oh,
people
yeah.
tampered with the evidence at the crime scene.
Bruh. Like people were touching everything.
Yeah, and one of these quote-unquote Antifa cops executed somebody. He's like, "Oh, you're still alive?" And then you hear the gunshot.
Yeah. You're like the cops aren't coming for you, man. I'm a
Yeah,
you're Mr.
and the worst thing about it is that they killed somebody that had nothing to do with what actually happened.
Yeah, man, dude. Look. What was I gonna say? I forgot. Where you going?
It was terrible.
Dude, oh, actually, yeah. What I was gonna say is, if the autonomous zone was a country, it'd have the worst, like, death rate out of any country.
Probably.
Yeah, it's because it was like 1 in 500 or something. They got
Yeah.
hurt.
Like people were getting robbed there too.
Yeah,
Like you're basically just living in the ghetto. That's really what it
like
is.
even worse than the ghetto. Actually,
Actually, yeah, I believe that. Probably
you'd be
worse.
living in like a, dude, like a if the apocalypse happened and the government took over and everyone was like on rations, that's what it would look like.
No, even worse than that. Let's be
Like
real.
you
Like there were no
remember The Last
rations.
of Us?
There
Remember
was
The
no
Last of
food.
Us?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they would have these cops on the outside and everyone else getting mugged, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning of the game, when they was like fighting Ellie,
Yeah.
that's what it would be like. That's what it was like.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And I want to visit one of these places.
Definitely. So, as to our final topic, how do you feel about like social media and how they actively are politically biased?
I love it. What do you mean? Everyone loves it. If you say
Everyone-
otherwise, you are gonna get canceled on Glimesh. I'll personally make sure that happens.
Personally, yeah.
It's okay, Biscuit. We're gonna
You
make
can be-
sure you personally don't attend one of these podcasts again if you're another 15 fucking minutes
Dude,
late.
I would not blame you if you guys kick me out after another one. My second strike.
Yeah. He was very
Um,
late. Very late.
But
All I-
ADHD guys, that's fine.
All I have to say is Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg, dude.
Zuckerberg and fact checker.
Dude,
Two
Zuckerberg.
things.
You guys remember the Facebook company and how Zuckerberg just is like kicked out 2 people?
Mm-hmm.
Elon Musk out 2 people.
Yeah.
Elon Musk, 2 people.
Yeah, because Elon Musk got kicked out of his company because he was like doing other stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah. That was kind of messed up. Those people did sue him though, and they won.
Really?
Yeah.
They were
You-
twins though, aren't they? They were like actual brothers.
Oh no, you're talking
You're
talking
talking
yeah.
about the Winklevoss twins, yeah.
I thought you were talking about the other guy that was actually like helping
screwed
fund.
over
Yeah,
more.
the actual co-owner, like the actual guy that helped him create Facebook, he winded up screwing him over. He took him to court and sued him for like $27 million or something like that, and actually fucking whooped his ass in court.
Damn, bro.
Zuckerberg is like an actual lizard.
I'm a snag.
I can't imagine. Like, how do you do that to somebody, man? That's
Yeah.
messed
You gotta be a
up.
And
pretty
then-
horrible person.
And then you laugh about basically selling people's data and information.
And then you do it again, and then everyone's like, "Oh, he's not gonna do it to me." I bet everyone in Facebook has dirt on Zuckerberg just in case.
Oh, I
Just in case he
wouldn't
tried
be
to screw
surprised.
you
I wouldn't be surprised.
over. I would have dirt on Zuckerberg if I was on high top on Facebook.
Definitely.
I would, if anyone's information I'd be taking, it'd be Zuckerberg's. Just gotta know, man.
Yeah, definitely. Well, does anybody have anything else they'd like to add?
Wait, don't we have like other things to talk about?
No,
We had like a whole list of things.
no, no. We went through the whole
covered
list.
that whole list.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, next topic, which I am making up because I make great topics, like the one I said before we started the podcast.
Let me
Okay.
pause you there real quick, Biscuit. I got to slide, boys, because it's getting pretty late, and I work tomorrow morning early. So
All right, see you,
Okay.
Zombie. Thank you for joining
Good.
us.
Absolutely, it's good being part of it, boys.
Yeah, bye bye.
Have
Okay.
y'all have a good night.
You too.
One question before we leave: why do people? Do you like whale sounds? Are you a whale sound guy?
I'm sorry. What?
Do you like whale sounds?
I guess.
Do you know what whale sounds are?
Yes.
Sounds whales make.
Yeah.
You know people like those sounds, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do.
Why? Why would you like?
Where-
What about like a whale was screaming for help and you're listening to that and you're like, this is lovely. I love this. It's just. So
I think
weird.
it's something that's repetitive and calming. I guess.
Just listen to a lake, man, not a whale. You
Sure.
know what a whale's talking about. A whale could be talking about committing a heinous crime, and you'd be like, "Yeah, this is the best thing I've ever heard."
Whales can be like trash talking each other, and you're like, oh yeah, that sounds
They
great.
could be like talking dirt about another whale.
Could
You know,
be,
like this is music for my soul here.
could be, could be.
You know, whales are like a complex thing. They're smart animals. They got big brains.
There's actually this one whale out there that speaks like totally different from the other specific whales that are of its kind, and it can't actually communicate with the
Oh,
other
dude, that's
whales.
sad. That's
It
sad,
is.
dude.
It is.
Like, how did it do that? Why did the whale do that? Why isn't he smart? Why doesn't he have a big brain like the rest of the other whales?
I think they were saying like he was either deaf or something.
I think you think he was raised apart from the other whales, and
Well, no, like it was like it couldn't, I guess, hear properly or something. So it would say it like it would make a different sound,
so it was like teaching a deaf kid how to talk.
basically.
But it would be much different for a whale.
Yes.
Damn, you ever hear a deaf kid talk?
Yes. It's
It's like what you think a person who's trying to talk would talk. And
yeah,
that's exactly what they're doing.
like they're saying the right kind of, but it's
It
difficult.
sounds weird. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah,
It's like when you hear someone else speak the language and they're not fluid in it.
exactly. Like you can understand it, but it takes like a minute, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, deaf kids have it hard.
They certainly do. They certainly do.
You think they'll fix that with the Neuralink?
Well, they've already had like plenty of inventions that help you hear better, you know, hearing aids.
Yeah. Did you hear about that thing in Neuralink where they got a pig to play a game or something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah. Was he having fun? What was he playing? Tetris?
Can't remember. Can't remember.
I'd like
But
to know
yeah.
what he was playing.
Definitely.
Hopefully not a game where he kills pigs.
Hopefully not. Anyhow.
But this is where it ends, right? This is where we
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah, so thank you all for joining us. This would be our 4th podcast. It should be up on YouTube at some point, sometime soon, maybe. Next podcast might be next weekend. We'll see.
Yeah.
Anyhow, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to contact us. You can check out our Twitter, YouTube channel, Discord server, any of that. Anyhow, thank you for watching. Thank you, Zombie, for joining us, even though he's already gone. Thank you, Biscuit, for at least showing up. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
You know,
It's a good
anyhow.
participation trophy.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.